John 5:2. In Jerusalem near the sheep gate, von Wide writes about this. The discovery of this pool proves beyond a doubt that the description of this pool was not the creation of the evangelists, but reflected accurate and detailed knowledge of Jerusalem. Tiberias. John is the only one to identify the Sea of Galilee as the Sea of Tiberias. John 6 verse 1 and 21 verse 1. Herod Antipas, Tetrarch of Galilee and Perea, 4 BC to AD 39, moved the capital from Sepphoris to Tiberias in AD 24. So John reflects the changing political times through identifying the Sea of Galilee as the Sea of Tiberias. 6. Pilate's judgment seat. In John 19:13, Pontius Pilate brought Jesus to the judgment seat. This has been identified near the Herodian palace. Now let's look at the historical reliability of the Synoptic Gospels. The inscription about Pontius Pilate. Pilate is mentioned in all 4 Gospels. An inscription at Caesarea Maritima was found within his name, with his name on it. On it as a prefect of Judea, which is the southern region that encompassed Jerusalem. Second, the boy Jesus in the temple. In Luke chapter 2 verse 41-50, there is a discovery of a stairway south of the southern wall of the Temple Mount. Makes it clear that it was here that young Jesus amazed the rabbis by his knowledge. This was the place that rabbis came to discuss the matters of the law. So do you remember when Jesus as a boy was at the temple and he was discussing with the rabbis? Well, we found the place where the rabbis and the temple would discuss. And so the matching of the historical story, the story with the historical reality of what we know of the temple matches. Number 3, a winepress stone walled terrace and 3 towers. In all Gospels, Jesus is called Jesus of Nazareth. In the parable of the talents, he says that a man planted a vineyard. He puts a wall around it, dug a pit for the winepress, and built a watchtower. Mark 12:1, Matthew 21:33. But Luke in 20 verse 9 omits most of the elements. In the 1990s, archaeology confirmed this data of Nazareth and a winepress. Less than half a mile from the center of 1st century Nazareth to the west, a winepress has been exposed, and beautifully constructed stone wall terraces are now visible. Most importantly, 3 circular stone towers, only about 50 feet apart, now rise majestically above the rocky terrain. So when we read the Gospel's historical the stories of Jesus, when he's talking about certain things, you know, archaeology is discovering that is backing up the historical reality of that time, and why Jesus would use illustrations, because these things actually were around him to use as illustrations. The Galilean boat in Luke 5 verse 1-11, a fishing boat is mentioned. A fishing boat has been, Luke 5:1-11. You know, the story there is about a fishing in Galilee. A fishing boat has been found in the mud of the northwest shore of the Lake of Galilee and confirms the Gospels. It's not the disciples' fishing boat, but what it shows is the kind of things, the historical things that are happening in the Gospels are being backed up by archaeology. Number 5, the farmers in the parable of the tenants. This parable, Matthew 21:33-46, Matthew 12:1-12, Luke 29:19. The landlord rents out his land to farmers. When he sends his servants to collect some of the produce or profit, the farmer beat them and eventually killed the landowner's son. From the larger context of rabbinic traditions, Greek papyri, and a true life story from Cicero himself in 106-43 BC, this practice is verified. Craig A. Evans, Are the Wicked Tenant Farmers Peasants, page 231-50. Peter's house in Capernaum. Matthew chapter 9 verse 1. Peter's house found. Von Ward writes, almost all scholars now espouse this view that the house belonged to the apostle. Helpful books on this subject of research and material. Helpful books on the subject and research material about the historical reliability of the Gospels can be found in the following: Paul Rhodes Eddy and Gregory A. Boyd, The Jesus